Is more responsible for the Beach Boys' success than Brian Wilson. He wrote the songs, produced the albums, and was considered at the time a musical genius. But Wilson's career and life got lost in a cloud of mental illness, as well as drug and alcohol abuse that left him weighing more than 300 pounds.
A lot of people out there.
At 46, Wilson is back, celebrating the release of his first album in more than 20 years and his first solo album ever. And while it appears things remain a little shaky for him, his old fans are loyal. Nearly 500 turning out last week at a Hollywood record store.
I think a lot of people didn't expect to hear from you again. They really thought Brian Wilson is not going to come back on the music scene, not going to come back on the reality scene, not going to come back on the healthy scene. Why are you back? What brought you back?
Well, the reason I actually came back into back into life, you might say, is pretty entirely. It's from one man, Dr. Eugene Landy, brought back my physical, spiritual, and mental self back, being back into the world, and it was a miracle. It was a major miracle in my life to have been educated to what he calls eating healthy, which I know a lot of people do eat healthy nowadays. It's a very, very, very big fad now, eating healthy, and also add to that exercise.
Was it that simple? I mean, after all those drugs and alcohol, you simply changed your eating habits and started exercising?
You're right. I didn't mention that. He also got me off of drugs, which was a big curse in my life, but it was a psychological dependency I had on drugs.
Now, why has Dr. Landy been able to do this, bring you back, when so many others had failed?
Because his particular monitoring system was 24-hour therapy, which means he's on call as a doctor 24 hours a day, for 24 hours a day. And he worked very hard at getting me to where I could respond to him properly, so that we could carry on a good relationship,
He's also the executive producer of your new album.
Yes, that is true. He works as executive producer, and he's also a partner of mine in business called Brains and Genius.
Blessings we need the most are what we all fear.
Gene Landy, who looks and acts more like a rock and roll star, is now Wilson's business manager, at his side last week helping choreograph a spring tour. Landy's total involvement in Wilson's life has led the California Attorney General to charge him with gross neglect in handling Wilson's case, a charge he, not surprisingly, denies.
Conflict of interest is a very interesting thing. If I had not been successful with Brian, and I had failed to help him gain himself and be able to accomplish what he's accomplished, I would be in no trouble. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? So conflict of interest is that I've been successful at what I did. And I've been successful at assisting him to do what he does.
He's multi-talented, We have a multi-relationship, and he's very talented. He's the most talented guy I've ever known in my whole life.
The album really is terrific.
Thank you.
I listened to it coming out here.
Gene and I feel that we hope people like what we put into it for a year,
There are people in this world who will believe that now, today, you are a better artist because you walked through all that pain. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I'm a better artist and a better person for having gone through all that and having been educated to the facts of life,
Brian says his new album is not a one-shot deal. He's already at work on a second solo album. And if all that's not enough, a movie deal is now in the works about Brian's road to recovery.
Oh, the violence that occurred seemed like we never win.
Brian Wilson, and thank you, Chantal. Right now it's 42 minutes after. Out to